Okay, we're going to solve by the square root method in this lesson. However, it's important for us to know what they mean by the word solve. So they're going to say solve. So what does that mean? What does solve mean? Well, let's solve this problem. We've got 3x minus 6 equals 0. I'm going to add 6 to both sides. So I isolate the variable, and then I multiply or divide so that it has a coefficient of 1, and I have solved now for the variable x equals 2. Now what happens when in place of that 0 we put a y? And we say, okay, find the x-intercept. So if I want to find the x-intercept, remember that the x-intercept is the value of x when y is 0. So if I make this a linear function by replacing the 0 with a y, and then I say find the x-intercept, I'm putting a 0 in for y, and I'm solving for x. And I end up with the same exact problem I had before where it just said to solve. So solutions, so here x equals 2, the difference is that the solution x equaled 2, but when it said find the x-intercept, we had an ordered pair. So solutions and x-intercepts are synonymous. Solutions equal x-intercepts. The difference is that an x-intercept is written as an ordered pair, and a solution is x equals some value, right? So a solution, you end up with x equals a value, and an x-intercept, you end up with an ordered pair. But the two x's, the two values for x are the same. So let's try this one. Solve negative 2x plus 7 equals 0. We'll subtract 7 from both sides, and then we'll divide by negative 2. So dividing by negative 2 gives us x equals 7 over 2. So the solution is x equals 7 over 2. I'm going to box that. Now it says find the y, or the x-intercept. So I have y equals negative 2x plus 7. Find the x-intercept. The x-intercept is found by putting a 0 in for y and solving. Again, I'm going to subtract either 7 or I can add 2x. 2x equals 7. Divide both sides by 2. I get x equals 7 over 2, but that's the x value of the ordered pair where y equals 0. So we just show the answer in different forms. So just as a quick recap over here, solving, because we asked, well, what is solving? Solving is when you find the value of the variable. Find the value of the variable. Okay, I don't know what happened to my pen. It was like it lost ink there. Find the value of the variable. And then there's no ordered pair. No ordered pair. So you just have x equals. However, when you find the x-intercept, so if they ask you to find the x-intercept, it's a point on the graph where the graph crosses the x-axis. So it's a point on the graph, specifically on the x-axis, and it is an ordered pair. So since it's a point, we give it as an ordered pair. So that's the difference between solving and finding the x-intercept. So here, once we start and we say, okay, well, what is the difference between the two equations? I have y equals x squared plus 2x minus 3, and I have 0 equals x squared plus 2x minus 3. Well, in this equation, we have a 0 in for y, meaning we're looking for the x-intercept, right? So in this equation, you're putting a 0 in for y, and when you put a 0 in for y, you're looking for the x-intercept. So this equation, because it has a y, will result in an x-intercept, right? Which is an ordered pair. So you put a 0 in for y. Maybe I should have just highlighted y. 0 in for y, meaning that you will have an x-intercept when given an x and a y in an equation, which results in an ordered pair. But if given an equation with just x, with only one variable, then we solve and get x equals some number. So when we solve an equation for x, we're really just finding what? What are we finding? We're finding the x-intercept. So when we solve an equation for x, we're really just finding the x-intercept of the graph. So every time we solve by the square root method, we're going to draw that horizontal x-axis, and we are going to plot the solution or solutions. Okay, so in the next video, we're going to go through the steps that we take to solve a